So I'm listening to these people. Uh, like I said, I'm surrounded by people, mostly this wannabe like feminist. Like no, it's not even feminist. It's people who are trying to play these Avengers, radical Avengers. Something they said. Somebody came by my door and whispered, "Oh, they're gonna rape you anally," right? Something like that. And I'm like, listen, it's fair because what you guys have done to women, unfortunately, has been a lot of sexual torture, which include the rectum. This is what they do. And they were trying to make me think of this woman and try to come up with, of course, the worst version they can. Listen, I know reality is they do things to target individuals from all genders, right? I know I was putting this program, but once you're in the program, they find ways to create a facade, a storyline, a creation of some sort to cope with what they're part of. Some of these people literally saying that to me have done and will be doing that to women. This one I've seen, I'm like, oh my gosh, Jesus, you look exactly like what I would imagine of somebody, a woman. And it's nothing, like she doesn't even look like a monster or anything, but I can see like, oh, you can just be in a room doing this somebody and just come back, get out and think that you're something normal, right? And I can see her finding strength in this. And so I'm like, these women who wanted to pretend that somehow they are a different program where they do not use sexual torture toward women, including anally, sorry to be graphic, rectum torture, are trying to make me think that these people are different from the same people who torture women. Now, obviously, I know it's not the truth. I know that this program, which they are contracted by, is a program that is doing horrible things to women. And I'm 100% sure that some of these people doing this to me right now, currently, have and will be torturing women. There's no doubt. The patterns of torture are just too much to see that obviously they do this thing of there's this tactics of tormenting people sexually, not only psychologically but actually like sexual pain, as in torturing people, targeting the genitals and the anal area. And I'm sorry for that language, but this is what they do. You will hear this testimony of women. These people are trying to be badasses, femme fatale, radical, when in reality they do horrible things to some of the most vulnerable people. And for me to hear them trying to somehow make themselves appear that I don't know what they've done to women, and they're saying, oh, we're doing it for this woman. That, remember that moment? Like, what? I pray that this woman is never put in this program, because guess what would they do? They would do to her. When you see those pictures and videos of these women, faces burnt up, body torture, eyes of somebody who's been sexually tormented and tortured, what do you think? Like, do you think I'm going to, like, do you not think that I see those women as people who've been tormented in so many horrible ways by these people doing this to me? I see that. So if I get raped, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, this is the avenging. No, it's like, oh, they're doing the same thing that they've done to women. Which is what they do. They torture women sexually. I pray for this woman that she will never be put in this program. I know who put me in this program, right? I know these people are just trying to use whatever they can to vilify me or to create a narrative like we're just avenging. They don't care about it. They will destroy her like the people you're gonna hear in this testimonial. They're the trash and the low lives that will destroy a woman's life and then go and live life like as if they load themselves into a different reality. The nastiest part is when I see these femme fatale wannabes, which I cannot. It's just so nasty to see this woman who would delude herself that I will let her fantasize that somehow she is here avenging for a woman, knowing that I know she is in a program that is torturing women in the foulest way possible. What they've done to this woman sexually, I'm talking about genitals, anals, and everything they've done. I can never. This woman, you listen, she said they zap her in the rectum. Other women say they give the pain and sting in the genital area. Can you imagine these people try to say, "Oh, we're gonna pay, Billy, for Billy." As I'm saying that, they try to change it to something. Let me let me come up with a different name. Daniela, some name like that, for Daniela. What you done to Daniela? Remember that moment? And you're like, first of all, you are doing horrible things to so many women. For all the Cassandra Lewis, which we're gonna hear, for the Lisa Bakers, for the Marianas, for all these women that you guys done horrible things to, I can never let you leave your fantasy. Sexual torture is one of the tactics they use. And they try to be like, oh. It's like, yeah, listen, you're going to torture me sexually. Okay. But you've done that to women, and you're doing this today. Katrina, a woman who's couldn't even get a rape kit, which you're going to hear. This is what they do. They do horrible things to women. So when I see this trash, if anything, I don't feel fear. I feel anger. That's these people who would torture Daniela in the worst ways, saying that, oh, we're doing it for her. No, you don't give a crap about her. You would torture her as horrible as you've tortured others. And so when I see these coworkers and people that all want to create this fantasy, I will never let you. First of all, you have to create a version of it that is even more extreme. Then you have to come up with your own. As I know what they do to women, never. There's no back and forth when people are doing this to women and try to talk to me about it. Do you know the horrible things before finding out? Before I found out what they were doing to women, they used to be back and forth, and they would try to create this like back and forth battles. And it's like, oh, did I do? It's like, and that, I will have this, because now I'm like, okay, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I did. But can you imagine the person who's talking to you is a person involved in a program that is destroying, raping, and doing horrible things to women? At one point, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I was wrong. What was that? Oh my God. And then I was like, no, but... And then the day comes when I hear the testimonials of all the women these people were torturing, of the horrible things they were doing to children, the horrible things they've been doing to women. One was validation, because not only they were doing the sexual torture, but they were doing the pedophilia type of torture, which they were also trying to make me subscribe to this. So it was you when you were a kid. I talked about it. No, you when you were 7 years old. They are. And you hear this woman, not only she gets sexually tortured to the point where she couldn't even use the restroom because what they do to her genitals and the other private area. Couldn't even use the restroom, but they do that to kids too. Sexual torture is commonly heard in this targeting. These people who are playing this feminist Avengers wannabe are trying to pretend they're doing it for somebody that no. And on top of that, they're trying to take away the reality of who put me in this program. My employer, who is very conservative, who they donated money to a campaign of a man who allegedly was picking up kids when he was an assistant DA, Roy Moore. And so now they try to come up with this facade that I read through. It's like, first of all, you have nothing to do with me being in this program. Now you're trying to create this facade because you try to look at, okay, how can we make this look like something else, when in reality he was put in this program by this employer who not good people at all, especially the person specifically in charge of me being in this program. Oh my gosh, horrible. I mean, But if you looked at himself, if you look at this man, you will get the goosebumps that you never. He was a very influenceable person in the company I was working for. Very influenceable. You see how this person looks, you know that this man is this kind of man who put somebody in this program. Now, what I'm witnessing with the perps is this level of trying to make themselves be a group of strong feminist, femme fatale women who are here to protect and avenge for what I've done to women and what I've done when I was a kid. And it's like, nope. These same people are involved in a program that do the things that you're going to hear, that you've heard already. And some of them think that, oh no, but this is my first time. But it's your first time working for a program that also tortures children and women. There's no winning or losing. You are trying to delude yourself into something else. My brain is going to go wherever it's going to go. But when they say, oh, I know, right? It's the same people who are zapping the rectum of women. The same people who torture children. And so when I see that, when I hear that, it's like, don't worry, I see it for whatever do the same thing you do to women. But don't think I'm gonna let you live your fantasy. I will take pictures of you. I will continuously look at these frauds. I'd rather die and torture and be raped than having to do the things that these people do and what they're involved in. This person is involved in a program that does these horrible things. She wants to escape. She'll think that she can, now let me just, no. You join this program, guess what they do to women? Guess what they do to women? Oh yes, they sexually torture them. You don't care about this Daniela, you will torture her. You'll be, or the people that is empowering you to do this thing to me will torture her to the point where there is till the point she kills herself. And you think for this instant I'm gonna let no. I think that even these people I appreciate me saying that, because for those who wanted to delude themselves in this fantasy, I'm like, nope. I'm gonna help you understand what you signed up to. There's nothing noble, honorable, and dignified with what you're part of. There's nothing radical. There's nothing even brave. It's pure nasty and fraudulent. You can't even say Roy Moore, and you talk about me being tortured because the people who sponsor Roy Moore put me in this program. You are bottom feeders for these pedophiles, and you torture women and children. So when you say Daniela, please understand. I pray that Daniela is never put in this program, that she doesn't turn into a Leslie, that she doesn't turn into a Cassandra, into a Mariana, into a Katrina, into a Wendy Brown, into a Lisa Baker, and into a Kate Barnes, a Mary Fair, to a Catherine Nestor. I pray for that. So don't leave your delusional. Let's go. When you say Roy Moore, I understand that the reason why you suit him to say his name is why I'm here. So when you say Daniela, oh my gosh, I'm going to say, don't even say her name with the amount of disgusting things that involve in this program toward this woman. Don't even curse her. They once brought this woman who has nothing to, and say, oh, this is Daniela. It's for her. This woman was different race completely, covering her hair with shadow. She was wearing a wig, and said they were doing for her, Daniela. You understand how fraudulent these people are? I'd rather scream in pain, but trust me, I won't be like, oh, they're doing it for Daniela. No, they're doing it because that's their job. They do that to women. This trash have been horrible to women. Cowards, they use this weak low life that wants to find a way to find strength in what they do. Don't think that you're doing it for Daniela. You will torture her and kill her and torment her, like you've done to so many other women. And then as they say, oh, we're gonna watch. Okay, who's watching those women being tortured? Trash like you. Low life in this program. I'd rather die slow. So to all my target individuals, listen to what they do to women. So when they try to vilify, remember, do not get lost in their little fantasy. They're going to create a fantasy. They were trying to say that we're doing it for Daniela. Remember what you did? What was that? Okay. Listen to Katrina's testimonial. This woman couldn't even get a rape kit at the doctor office because the doctors were also compromised. And it's a woman, by the way. Because, apparently their gender is proof that these people are like some kind of Avengers. Because women in this program, women that are being tortured, are not being tortured by other women. Do you understand how basic and illogical they want me to be? Never. This facade is a facade. You can be a woman or a man. It's the same. But the fact that you're a woman trying to play this feminist and radical woman, I'll say, it's like, no. Whatever you're going to do to me, I'm going to think of all the women you guys have done this to. I'm not going to think Daniela. I'm going to think Katrina. I'm going to think Cassandra. I'm going to think Mariana. This is who I'm going to think about. Oh, I'm in pain. I wonder how Mariana was feeling when she could walk, when she could use the restroom. That's what almost. That's how she felt. Or Katrina, when she was throwing up after waking up, bleeding from all the. That is what I'm gonna feel like. And you hear this woman who tries to sound badass, like, nah, fair. See? Yeah, you sound like you're protecting women. This is who I'm gonna feel like. There is no theater that's gonna cover up the reality. I'd rather die slow. And they're like, we're gonna frame you for Daniela. Oh my gosh, you will destroy Daniela's life like you've destroyed all these women. It's fair. I understand. You need to do something to cope with what you're part of. I'm not gonna let you live your fantasy. Please listen to the testimonies of this unfairness.
Neurals, making you happy, tracking those neurals. And so that's what they had done with me. I had bought a house in that time. I had worked on YouTube, and my entire house before I even bought it was completely rigged up with cameras and all kinds of things. It was pretty bad. And how I figured out that I somehow answered the door was after I sold my house, and everything in my house was completely hacked. So I figured I would go to a hotel and use their Wi-Fi, use their telephone, so I could make airline, flight, because all I wanted to do was leave Chicago. And so I figured I'd make my plans in a hotel. I didn't think that they could hack the hotel. I was very naive back then. I didn't understand the full technology spectrum or even interest, and all I wanted to do was leave. So I was at a hotel on a relatively high floor, and they had... all of a sudden, I had been there like 4 or 5 days, and the night before I was attacked really bad, I noticed a maintenance man about 10 or 11 o'clock at night messing with all of the lights up and down the hallway. And as, I'm sorry, I get kind of upset when I think about this because it's really messed up. And my spidey sense went off, and I was really kind of nervous about like what the hell he was doing out there, because he was kind of a sinister, he was real creepy kind of person. So so the next night, I believe it was a Friday night, I went to bed. I had all of the doors, all the locks on the door, even the one that kind of like goes over that you can't open from the outside. I had everything locked up. Figured I was safe. I went to bed maybe about 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, bleeding out of every hole, sick. Someone was in my room, or had been in my room. Food was missing. My dogs were traumatized. I had been obviously sexually assaulted in all the worst ways possible. I got up, first thing I did was vomit. And all I wanted to do was I was just in shock. There was a do not disturb sign on my door, and I didn't do this. And there was lotion all over my bathroom floor. All I wanted to do was just get on a plane and get the hell away from everybody. And I was, very, very sick and in a lot of pain. I had already been denied a rape kit when I owned my house, and woke up, and my hair had obviously been pulled out, and there were earplugs in my bed. And I felt like someone had done something. I went to Palos Community Hospital under the directions of a non-compromised police officer who told me that if anything happened, to go right to the hospital. So I did. And I had a compromised doctor who treated me like a third-rate citizen and said she would give me an STD test and a drug test, but she refused me a rape kit. And
involuntary limb movements, I receive stingings, I get pains to my head, to my abdomen, to my vaginal area, and to my anal area. I'm like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock up my rectum. I get electric shock up my nose. Enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
To varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. Throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly, which has become the only form of exercise I have been able to do since 2015. And even that, I'm not able to do as much as I'd like due to the exhaustion every day, as well as the sexual assaults that make it difficult to walk at times. Battle just to even sit on the toilet to go to the bathroom. Not only because of the bowel and bladder manipulation, but also because of the frequent severe sexual assaults on the genitals, my butt and anus, shaking, vibrating, and rocking my body back and forth, and forced eyeball movements, and phantom touch sensations doing rubbing sensations, etc.
Thousands and possibly millions of victims all over the world, that I felt strong with this. They simply couldn't do anything to change my attitude, and because I took it for so long, I immediately told them sort of speak that I wasn't going to change my attitude, that the puppeter that they thought they have is gone, and this is me, the real persona, and I wasn't to take their bullshit anymore. Then said this, I started searching in internet for information about the abuse and the weapons that this psychopaths groups are using on innocent Americans, and I was overwhelmed by the horror stories of the target individuals and what their immediate families are going through, the information about the technology weapons that are used by the government, the agencies including CIA, FBI, NSA, Homeland Security, DOD, DOJ, etc., and mainly, the very well documented information of the technology in the web, including the well-documented organized stalking and torture run by neighborhoods, sort of speak, settled in neighborhoods, under the sponsored of our government. Mr. Bush, you are not going to tell me that you do not acknowledge all of this corruption happening. You know exactly what's going on. I have I've joined support groups, send letters to congressmen, senators, representatives in the government, also have joined international groups of victims where I have sent my testimony of events since my harassment began. Today, since this coward group of slaves realized I'm not changing in the old ways, they decided to get me in any way possible. I learned through other TIs that they've been assaulted sexually, and I realized I wasn't the only one. Then I knew we all get the same thing. Also, that some of the TIs stated that they forced her through holograms.
Shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voices Skull, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow this to go on? You really think they think it's nothing wrong with them, basically. They call me retarded bitch and all of this here, but I was.
And just to wrap up everything here, as I was giving the example of a random name, I picked up a random name and said let's just say that they're doing it. They're saying it. They're doing it for Daniela. I just came up with this random name. I was trying to find a name because I don't want to say the real name they're saying. So I'm coming up with this fake name that I just whatever name, and they're like, oh, it's actually a name of this kid living here. We're gonna say that you did something to this kid. It's like, no, I'm just making up names in regard of, because I don't want to say the real name of who they're saying. So Daniela, let's say, matter of fact, let's call it Coca-Cola. Daniela Coca-Cola is the name they're saying that they're doing it for. These people are so fraudulent and try to come up with such a fraudulency of a story that they want to escape from this reality that they involve in these terrible things that torture a lot of women, and they try to pretend they're doing it for this woman that they say I've done wrong to, and I'm gonna give the fake name of Daniela Coca-Cola being that name, but they're saying another name being the person they're doing it for, when in reality I pray for Daniela Coca-Cola to never be put in this program where she'll be destroyed, fried up, and tormented like all these women you see in these pictures. And so this person, this name I'm saying, that which is the false name, is the real name I'm not going to say here, is who they're pretending that they're doing it for. A woman that they don't care about. They will destroy her and her family. And so I will never, and I mean her and her family and her children will be destroyed by these people. So to all my target individuals, never subscribe. These people are doing horrible things to some of the most vulnerable people, and I will never let them live their fantasy.